Hi everyone, the reading I'd like to share with you today is on the Sebastian Rogers case. Now the first thing I have to say is this is for entertainment purposes only. It's my thoughts and opinions, not fact. Now, looking at Sebastian, the first thing I get from him is that he's overwhelmingly a happy child. He loves his family. He doesn't have a lot of friends, but he loves the ones he does have. I feel like there's maybe one or two. I'm also getting that there's this teacher or mentor around him, and she really helped at times when he was struggling with things going on in his life. In terms of the family home, even though he loved his family deeply and they clearly loved him, I feel as though there's some sort of conflict here. There's all these arguments and he doesn't like that. He wants to get away from them. I'm getting this feeling that, he's planning, he's going to travel, he's going to, it's optimistic. He's going to get himself out of there, he's going to travel and he's going to get away. Now, in terms of Sebastian's disappearance, I don't feel that he walked out of that house in bare shoes with a flashlight. It's not something that's coming through at all. What I'm getting is that there's this conflict and it spills over. I'm getting domestic. So, there's this domestic violence, abuse, whatever you'd like to call it. But I'm getting that this goes on and that Sebastian, it's an accident, but that's what happens to him. So I'm getting that it's something to do with online. So he's at the computer or laptop, he's doing whatever he does, and there's this argument or conflict, and I'm getting that he's grabbed by his arm. It's quite tight, someone has his arm. I'm also getting something wrong with his leg. It's painful, but it goes beyond pain, and it's making him feel sick. And now that's the two things that I'm getting straight away. I'm also getting him being put in a place. I keep getting behind closed doors, like he's put somewhere, possibly sent to his room, and this is for, I'm getting payback, but I think it's basically a punishment for something. Anyway, back to this online stuff. What I keep getting around that, the conflict and the argument around it, is there's deception, fraud. Now I'm getting some sort of money here, and I'm also getting like fake social media profiles or some sort of forgery around it. But I'm getting this is what the argument was about, and I've got Sebastian sort of exposing secrets here, and I feel as though that's something that his mother, I feel, and stepfather especially, were wanting to keep quiet. So something happens, they have this argument, something goes wrong, but I do get that it's accidental. In terms of when it happened, the 25th, I'm getting there was some sort of trip somewhere, something to do with the vehicle on the 25th. Then the 26th, what I'm getting is the very, very early hours is when this big, it's when it all happened, when things went completely wrong, but it happened in the early hours of the 26th. Now, what I get is that when Sebastian was reported missing, he was behind closed doors, so he was in a building or a house somewhere, and I'm getting the number 4. Around the conflict, around, when everything went wrong, I'm getting a number 9 coming through. That could just be the final, that could be the end, and that could be when it's happening, but there's this number 9 energy around that. Now, in terms of leaving the property, unfortunately, Sebastian's already passed. Those 2 lights that people have on CCTV, what I'm getting is that he's already gone then, so that's not Sebastian. I'm getting that he left in a vehicle. All right, so he was taken out of the family home. It's a vehicle. I'm getting that it was darker in colour. I'm getting brown, so I don't know whether it's really dirty or whether it is brown, but I'm getting that there's this darker colour on this vehicle. And I'm also getting that there was more than one person other than Sebastian in this vehicle. So there's these two people. Regarding where he is now, I don't feel like he's too far away. I keep on getting the home and the neighbourhood cards, and again I still feel as though he's behind closed doors somewhere, some building, or there's some sort of building or house, and that's where he is. In terms of finding him and what's relevant to it, I get this card. So I always get this drains or waterways, and I always feel as though something goes wrong and someone comes round, they're possibly going to repair something, but something happens with these drains or waterways, and that's how Sebastian's found. And I do get a strong sense of spring around that too. Again, in terms of his location, I get the home, I don't know if you can see that properly, and wooded area. So a house, slightly wooded area, but that's all relevant to Sebastian's location, and everything I get is behind closed doors for him. In terms of actually anyone being brought to justice, I do feel as though someone is, once Sebastian's found, I feel as though someone's going to be brought to justice, and what I'm getting is a caregiver, a care provider. I'm getting that there's some sort of, there's something else going on, and that's how they're caught for what happened to Sebastian. I'm getting online, so I get social media is quite important to this case, and obviously all the online activities that led to this argument. I'm getting a fraud somewhere in here too. I'm also getting some sort of accident in the vehicle. In terms of the vehicle used to move Sebastian, the dark coloured one that I'm getting, right, so there's something was seen by someone in this, and because they didn't feel that it was relevant, or the report hasn't been taken seriously, something was seen, this vehicle was spotted somewhere, and it hasn't been followed up. What I'm also getting is that this is a vehicle that Sebastian's been in before, but there's also some sort of DNA evidence there. Now, whether that's blood or something else, but there is some evidence in that vehicle that will prove he was transported in it. In terms of the person who finds Sebastian, I keep getting that this is a stranger. So it's no one Sebastian knows, it's a younger male. I feel he's not too old. And what I'm getting is that this young male, he's setting up his own business, or he's starting his own venture, and he's doing some sort of job for a female when he finds Sebastian. Again, I feel like he could be sort of up and down ladders, and that could be something to do with the drains or waterways. In terms of the actual location where Sebastian is at the moment, so what I'm getting close by is there's this famous hotel, well, maybe not a famous hotel, but there's this hotel, and I'm getting sort of weddings and lovers. It's quite well known for couples, that's where the couples would visit. I'm also getting that there was some sort of homicide there. It's people local would know about this, and again I'm getting some sort of newlyweds around that. I'm also getting that since he's disappeared, something else has happened, and in quite close to where he is, there was, you know, part of a couple, I don't know if it's one, I think it's one of them, not both, and one of them passed over, and it was to do with substances, so it was drug abuse, and that's what happened there. I do feel as though there is a family connection. I think I've made that quite obvious throughout, but I do feel as though Sebastian will be found and that justice will be served. I do feel whoever done this to him will end up in prison.